All right, so we're starting. Ladies and gentlemen, great to see you. Thanks for taking the time to stay for our interesting and insightful FinTech in Armenia panel. Finance Reimagined, how Bitcoin, DeFi, and NFTs are shaping and reshaping the future of finance, FinTech, and AI. So as our friend Mike just mentioned, we have a very diverse, experienced senior panel team today. You've all been introduced, but now that you've got a person under everyone's picture, you know, Ara is a legend in Armenian banking, Matena professor. John, fintech investor from the States, VC. Vakhtang, great background with Arca and payments at Central Bank, and CEO of Fastex. Our friend Ibrahim Molengik, with an interesting background with telco and fintech transformation, and Artyom, CEO, founder of Web3 Foundation Armenia. Okay, so let's kick it off. So given how diverse and experienced this panel is, we're going to hit fintech, finance, AI, in financial services from many different angles today. Let's start with 1 minute each, guys, about your personal visions, about the future of financial services, including AI and fintech. Let's start with Ara and then Artyom. Let's go.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. It's great to be here. When I was first asked to participate in this panel, I was thinking, why me and why on this topic? And then when I collected my thoughts, I actually thought that the reason I'm here is because I disagree with the title of this panel, because I think neither blockchain nor NFTs and probably nor DeFi is the future of the financial technology. I mean, they find themselves right at the bottom of Gartner's hype chart. I personally think that the future of the financial services, financial technology, fintech, is much more around hyper-personalization, namely the marketing and targeting the products at the segment of one.
Yeah.
On efficiency, being very fast, very quick in everything we do, instant payments, credit reimbursements, etc., and being omnipresent, namely being exactly where the clients need those financial services. That's my perspective.
Thank you, Ara. I think it's going to be an interesting debate. So, I mean, let's just keep going in order. So, John.
Great. So I agree with you in a lot of ways, but I think it's important to understand before we think of where the future is going is why we are where we are today. You know, part of it is the innovation in technology, especially with the advent of AI, but more importantly, the distrust that came to the banking system after the great financial crisis in 08-09 is really what helped shape the advent of a lot of the businesses that we see in fintech today, in particular with neobanks, with cryptocurrencies, digital wallets, et cetera, because the trust had gone away and consumers were looking for new ways, new brands, new people to be able to feel that they could, you know, have fiduciary trust with their capital. And so that, along with, you know, the iPhone being created in kind of the 07, 08 period and the transformation to digitization, we got to the point where you were describing people wanted to be banking where they were as opposed to having to go institutions. And so, you know, a lot of these neobanks started, mobility started to increase inside of payments. And so that only transpired and progressed even further after COVID, and we are where we are today. I think there's 3 areas that we're going to continue to see. Digital transformation will continue at a very high level. Yep. We're going to see crypto and blockchain in particular, as well as AI, really bring the personalization and reduce the friction that's involved. And I think all of that's going to ultimately drive globalization and financial inclusion.
Great. Over to you, Vakhtang. Actually, as you guys know, questions 1 and 2 are being merged. So question 1, just to recap, is what is the future of financial services? And question 2, we discussed to talk about your definition of fintech. So you guys have done it. So Vakhtang and the guys try and include that into your answer. That would be great.
Okay, thanks. Greetings, everyone. I would agree with my colleagues stating that the digital transformation, personalization is already today's agenda and definitely will shape the future of financial services. Though I think that the decentralization and digital, blockchain technologies are also the part of the future transformation that we will be facing, mostly focusing on the P2P and less intermediation, thus creating enormous opportunities for access to finance in terms of, very rural areas, all the around the globe to make it more accessible and useful in terms of the basic financial needs. The DeFi protocols, the decentralized finance are also a part of our agenda, and I think that financial institutions should be looking for synergies with the startups and fintech companies to make sure that they reserve the spot in future financial services and have a right to survive. Otherwise, very soon the competition will kill many of traditional finance that we used to see today.
Thank you, Vakhtang. A very bullish view on change and transformation, especially given direction of your group and Fastex Bank. So thank you so much. Ibrahim.
Thank you very much. I think what say my colleague now is really right, and I want to come with another point of view, the point of view of the consumer. I think it's really important to understand what is the finance. So the fintech, there is finance technology. What is the finance for the consumer? I think for the consumer it's really important because the finance that can be live their life, but this is also a tool for the develop their projects, apartment or business project and things like that. Or this is also a tool for to make money, so investment. I think the future of fintech is when we will develop some solution for to give the opportunity to citizen people. They can manage their finance more easily and they can have all the information. And I think with this kind of technology of blockchain, AI, they can really help about this and to have really to be a real good advice for the final consumer.
Thank you, Ibrahim. And it's interesting to see how we've gone from a very institutionalized version of financial services change and fintech to retail. So thank you. Artyom, would love to hear your thoughts.
Thank you. Can you hear me? There. Okay, yeah. Thank you. I understand it's the last speech and everyone are tired, so we'll keep it short. Bitcoin happened. It came to change the fintech, it came to change the world, and it does change the world. All those old-style dinosaur banking systems and others who are trying to bring in new small features, trying to stay along, they will either have to play with the new rules or they will have to get extinct, right? There is no other way. Everyone who is fighting is going to lose.
Which new rules?
New rules of Web3 world, of blockchain world, of cryptocurrency world, of Bitcoin world. Those new rules mean the positions of banks where they had monopoly and could do whatever they want, and they were dictating the world how finances should work, are past. That's it.
Fascinating. What a broad, diverse response. So our next question is slightly different. So if you look at least this is how we look at it in London, the four main, I would say, financial services verticals going through immense digital transformation, fintech change and transformation. Banking and wealth management, number one. There's no official order, but we'll come to that. The second one, payments and FX. The third one, insurance, to InsurTech. And the fourth one, trading, capital markets, and transformation of the exchange model and world. So can you each please rank them 1 to 4 in terms of the vertical that you think is going through the highest pace of change Just a few comments, a ranking and some comments would be great. You can pick one or two or go through all four of them real quick. Let's start with Artyom, actually, with a disruptive response.
Yeah, I'll leave it to professionals.
Do you want me to start?
Sure. Yes, please.
Okay. For my understanding, the payments has been impacted significantly because if we look on our daily activity, payments through the digital currencies, payments through the cryptocurrencies, number of central banks' initiatives of central bank digital currency, all those are part of the huge transformation due to the blockchain technology, distributed ledger technology. And here, I think that the banks and the financial institution realizes that without those changes, without accepting at some point new rules, even more, without bringing a new regulation in the field, would not let them move forward. Otherwise, we will have the two separated environments, where one with the old style, sort of a costly, slowly moving funds transfer versus the very rapid P2P transactions within a second that happens. And definitely each rational people would behave in a way that to choose the easiest one. The insurance, also a very significant domain in finance, where you could apply the smart contract algorithms and protocols to make sure that self-executed transactions can happen, whether you have a delay in your flight or some other insurance cases. So definitely this is also the huge part of the transformation.
Maybe John or Ara?
Yeah, perfect. Just payments and FX, I think, is right. That's been the area that's been most disrupted, both by the blockchain and crypto, but also just by contactless payments, right? Digital wallets, things that we've seen. Cash is going away. You know, we can all argue why we even have fiat currency anyway, with all the rot problems that it has, from theft to transparency around traceability. It's hard to make. It's expensive to store. It's easy to lose. So easy to happen. I think you're right. The central banks have realized this, and 70% now of central banks, according to the World Bank, are coming up with some kind of a central bank digital currency for the future. In 100 countries, 19 of the G20 are already pretty close to getting to that. So we're starting to see that transformation. And I think where that's going to lead to next is real-time payments, getting rid of the archaic system that lives in banking system with HEH and allowing people to be able to transfer currency immediately. And so what does that do? That helps credit finance. That helps things like remittances. You don't have to drive to Western Union, wait for 20 minutes, and spend 20% of a tax to be able to get currency out of your country. And so all those changes are happening. I think insurance is a real one. I think the other area around insurance that will be interesting is use-based insurance. So we'll now be able to actually insure you for what you need, as opposed to just a blanket type structure, which will be important. On the banking and wealth management, the personalization, I think, is the area we'll see the biggest changes. And finally, as we think about trading, we've already seen algorithmic trading. It's changed the way that kind of the trading business is done. Electronic trading has pretty much wiped out any major Wall Street trading floor today. And so those have already been done. But I think what we'll see is new products like these Bitcoin ETFs, but also using the smart contracts to be able to create personalized derivative structures for individuals to be able to trade on views that they have.
I just can add that if you look at the pace and the starting point of the transformation, you usually come with the customer-facing side of it. So everything which is related to the mass market goes first, and everything in parallel to that on the markets business side. So everything which is related to equities, FX, etc., etc. These things go first, and the latest ones to come are, of course, wealth management, that is still yet to be disrupted or is in the process of being disrupted, and InsurTech.
Great. Thanks for your responses, gentlemen. So the next question is a pretty interesting, again, different angle. Why is the financial services market, industry, and system changing? What is driving change? Is it user experience, consumer expectations, B2B strategy, chasing corporate profits at the PLC level? Disruptive startups and DLT type technologies coming into the market looking to change the system because the system isn't right in their view. So let's start with Artyom.
Okay, so fintech was changing either way, just like entire IT sector. But this change isn't about that. This change isn't born because there was a need for new functions, new features, new cash inflow. These fintech changes from blockchain crypto perspective are coming because people across the world are tired of digital slavery. People are tired of banking, doing banksters, doing whatever they want to them. People are tired from the chains.
How do you know people are tired? How do you know that?
Because Bitcoin worked. That's the only reason. Because it worked, because it was created, and then it worked without marketing.
How do we know it worked, and what does it mean that it worked for you?
Because it has $1 or $2 trillion capitalization, okay? And the rate of growth was enormous. That's simply because people were starving from lack of freedom, and now they do have it. And it's going to transform everything in a hard way. It's not going to ask banking system or fintech whether they want it or not. It has a bold assessment, it has a bold word to say, and it's going to win at the end.
Thank you. Artyom, would love to hear Vakhtang and John. John, you mentioned something close to T0. Maybe one of you want to start?
Yeah, I'll go from there. First, I think you'll appreciate this, Stefan. I'm actually going to challenge that last statement that it's working, because just because of the size of it doesn't necessarily mean it's working. I think adoption is really when we'll understand that it's really working at scale. And so, not that it won't, because I agree with you, it's what the people want, but I'm not sure that we're quite there yet. So just my opinion. But with regards to the question you had asked about what's driving this, I think it is exactly what he said, which is the people are asking for change. Everything in the world is transformed. And archaic systems today, I don't know how many people are going to get trained in COBOL anymore, but that's what these banking systems were trained on. And so we need to be able to move with the times. And what that means is the ability to be able to get money when you want it, how you want it, to be able to have a banking system that serves you where you are, how you want, and that's specialized to your personal needs. And we're probably going to have to see this in other industries as well. And one of those could be education down the road.
Fascinating.
In my understanding, not the regular customer in banking system does not feel slavery or something like that. Definitely there are a high dependency, which is normal once you start to consider the consumer right protection, other types of regulatory environment that needs to be created around that. But definitely what is driving the changes is the competition. And competition here means not only among the financial industry members, but also the fintech companies and startups even, with those disruptive technologies in place. So DeFi protocols, lending protocols, staking protocols, all those are some sort of an alternative in P2P segment that gives room for thinking for the banking system to understand how to transform. But again, here the key is cooperation, in my understanding, and synergies, because without that we cannot move forward. It's not a matter of win-lose, it's a matter of win-win. The right scenario should be found.
Fascinating insights from Vakhtang as the CEO of an innovative bank that's digitizing and going into the blockchain space. And you mentioned competition and having to change and having to move and change your business strategy accordingly. So very interesting. Let's move on to the next question. Nice segue into blockchain. Let's start talking a bit more about blockchain. What is it? Why is it moving? What's it all about? Where are we using it today? Why? How? Would love to know some case studies. If you guys are bullish, your companies, or you personally. I think we'll start with Artyom on this one.
We have a couple minutes left, 10 minutes. So I'll try to explain it within 2 minutes. Simply said, blockchain is the technology that is behind Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies and other stuff. What it does is, instead of storing your data in one server, like bank's server, or 10 servers, Amazon servers. It is storing the data in 10 million places, and everyone can store that data if they want to. And everything is written in a chain and tamper-proof. So if bank decides to invalidate your balance, it will have to invalidate all the data, big data set. Therefore, it is helping to make fair money, like Bitcoin, as well as making fair decentralized applications. Like previously, you are used that your applications are running on some server, like Facebook, and they can delete your Facebook account. Now it is stored instead of one server in 10 million servers on blockchain, where it can't be removed. So you own your yourself.
Yeah.
Okay?
Let's weave into this question, the next question, which is about the future of cryptocurrency. So let's bring in blockchain and crypto. Any specific cryptos you want to call out? INFTs, NFTs, DeFi, Ethereum, any new crypto on the block that you think is going to scale for financial services transactions?
Well, yeah, there are lots of them. I would recommend paying attention to the ones that are not only just a money transfer, their value isn't money transfer, like Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Dogecoin. But also they have utility, like Telegram Open Networks coin, which helps you do everything on Telegram network, as well as Ethereum, which helps you creating dApps, DeFi, and as well as NFTs. And we have one more very big Armenian one. I guess Vakhtang is the best to tell about it.
So maybe Vakhtang and Ara would love to hear your views on this question.
Okay, in our case, I mean, all those questions you have touched definitely describe the ecosystem of the FastX, and here I would do nothing else than to describe in few words the FastX ecosystem, starting with the blockchain, Bahamut blockchain, with its grant program and foundation that we have set up in Switzerland for grant programs. So all those startups and developers who are interested in developing and deploying some products and protocols on Bahamut blockchain, more than welcome to have a look on our website and see what are the areas of interest and whether we could cooperate and apply for some grant programs. In terms of the crypto utility, I totally agree with Artyom's statement that utility is a very important aspect, and the Fast token that has been deployed as a native coin for our blockchain has enormous utility within it. So basically, those should be paid attention a lot. And NFTs and other related Web3 products are also part of the ecosystem. Once you are jumped into the Web3, then definitely there are a number of rooms, starting from metaverse, where you could set up your e-commerce and move forward with enormous, issue your own token at the end of the day, have your smart contracts in place, etc. Finishing with running your day-to-day business there. And selling the tickets for the concert, like we had day before
Yeah.
So basically, it's enormous opportunities, and
Fantastic.
you are limited only for your imagination.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Vakhtang and Artyom. I think before we go on to John and Ara about the same question, I think we see a very bullish response here, and then a slightly different response. But let's see what Ara and John have to say. But can you weave into your responses as well, which I think you might, some of the concerns and issues with this innovative space, be it regulation, ESG, etc.
I'm taking a huge risk of being considered the dinosaurs on the panel. So I personally, with all the respect and admiration of the engineering quality of what the blockchain does and did, I still put it in the category of a solution looking for a problem. I have been managing a portfolio of north of 500 to 600 million euro of investments for a bank into information technology. Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, but we never managed to fund a business case which was more than the rounding error in our investment, unfortunately, maybe. With regards to the regulation, I think there are there is a slowly emerging understanding and acceptance of all various regulators, some more innovative, some less innovative, and I think everything which is related to conventional, if you will, cryptocurrencies is and will become more or less acceptable and standard across the board as an investment product. With regards to its payment utility, we will have to see how and then when it will become efficient and cheap.
Thanks so much. John?
Yeah, you know, and I don't want to sound like I'm not bullish on it. I think it's just, I think it doesn't have the same utility yet in my mind that this side of the panel does, and partly because of the adoption. I think that the solution case, but I do find a lot of functionality and utility even in our business, and the blockchain probably being the biggest one, to just avoid a lot of the friction that we have. You know, how many times you go and get a mortgage or a loan or something, you fill out the same documents every time, where those could just be done on the blockchain and easy for them to be able to be utilized in other fashion. The ability to be able to, you know, do fraud detection really quickly, to be able to have some transparency and traceability around transactions. There's a lot of utility there. And I think we do need a digital currency. I'm not sure whether that becomes Bitcoin or some kind of a stable coin or a central bank coin. I don't know, but that's going to be necessary for that real-time transfer process that I talked about. So I think I think the regulatory concerns are real. And I think part of it today is there's just a lot of regulatory uncertainty, and that uncertainty causes a lot of confusion and causes that lack of adoption that I talk about. And so maybe that ends up solving some of it. So finding a way to be able to work with the regulators and the shareholders alike to come up with a solution that doesn't deter innovation, but while at the same time provides consumer protection, will be very important going forward.
Thank you so much. And that is happening definitely in big financial centers like, that's coming. London, Singapore, New York, etc. But it's coming to Armenia, and we're working on a solution, an institutionalized working group with the central bank and the industry. So good news that this is coming. So in the interest of time, we have 2 minutes left. So let's go 30 seconds each. Any insights that you want to share with the room? Like, I would say top 2 bullets, right? Top 2 bullet points. What's the future of this industry and why? Let's start with Artyom.
Yep. It's all right. Some people don't get it and don't share the vision. It's all right. Everyone occasionally will get it. It's like with internet. Sooner or later, you're going to use it and you'll understand it. My best advice is start learning now, because you're going to use it soon or late. And it's always better soon than late, because the ones that are soon, they will benefit. The ones that are late, they are just late from the party. Study Bitcoin.
Okay.
Thank you. So for me, the blockchain is a real innovative technology, and the specificity of blockchain is we cannot hack a blockchain. And I think the crypto money prove that. And we can use this for different kind of business in the society. For example, we're working with the Federation of a Diamond in Belgium for the traceability of a diamond. Where we find diamond, yeah.
All right.
Where we find
it's your lovely
diamond.
Belgium accent, I can understand.
So, but we can also work on with this technology in the medical sector. So to have the specific information really protected about one patient. You know, this is really important to be creative, because blockchain prove we cannot crypto prove we cannot hack a blockchain, and we need to use this technology in other sector. And for me, my advice is really stay aware, be interested and be curious, because a lot of things change. And we need also to push a little bit the sector of finance they move the line.
Thanks.
Well, I will be more generalistic. We were talking about the transformation, and the transformation is about the mindset shift as well. So embrace the changes, find the courage to think differently, and then doesn't matter whether it's blockchain or whatever in your life, that changes are so rapid that you need to somehow move alongside with that.
So Vakhtang, what is the future of fintech and blockchain? Like in 50 to 100 years, where do you see the industry going, given how fast your bank is moving towards the space?
Well, our bank will be there, definitely. But other than that, no. On a serious note, it's changing so fast that you cannot predict 15 years ahead. AI definitely plays a huge role. Data-driven decision making is there, personalization is there, everything is there. But the technologies are still disruptive. So nobody is considering blockchain as a final destination. The cryptography changes, everything is changes. Supercomputers are coming, so it's huge ahead of us. Huge
We get
changes.
it. You're bullish.
I know for the sake of time, I think just for the audience, my advice would be this, kind of similar to what we've heard here, which is the change is coming, and staying on top of it and realizing that if you want to just stick down just to the old ways of doing finance, that's going to be very different in the next 3, 4, 5 years. And candidly, don't get comfortable because disruption is happening at a faster pace for everybody. And so being able to stay on top of that will be extremely important.
Thank you. Ada.
I think that the transformation of financial services will see a couple of major trends. One is shift towards the margins. Big banks will become, or big companies will become bigger. Small ones will become smaller. That's the first thing. The second thing, I think the winners will be an ecosystem players. So they will be able to handle and partner lots of smaller companies to make kind of best of breed for their customers and be a trust broker to their customer. And the last, I think, and hope at some point in time, financial inclusion, banking for unbanked, and financial education will find its home in financial services industry where it belongs.
Fascinating. Any more comments? But I think we're done. So big round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you for attending, and get in touch with us if you want to partner or ask questions. Thank you.